Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a truly fascinating frontier. We're looking at a world where natural biology and modern technology aren't fighting each other anymore, but are actually joining forces. We're going to map out exactly how the spaces we inhabit, both the physical ones and the digital ones, are evolving to fundamentally support our human nature. But first, let's think about the paradox of our modern lives for a second. For decades, we've built these incredibly sterile, tech-dominated environments, right? We sit in steel and glass boxes under the flat glare of fluorescent lights, staring at glowing rectangles, breathing filtered air. We literally engineer these spaces to efficiently cut ourselves off from the wild outside world. But here's the catch. Our DNA is practically screaming for that connection to nature. Okay, let's dive into this. The foundation of this whole massive shift in design is called the biophilia hypothesis. Popularized by biologist Edward O. Wilson, it simply states that we have this innate, hardwired biological need to affiliate with the natural world. It isn't just a preference for pretty views, it is quite literally written into our genetics. We need nature to thrive. So here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover the biophilia hypothesis, then buildings as living ecosystems. Next up, designing natural digital spaces, followed by when code builds nature, and we'll wrap up with the future digital refuge. Section 1. The biophilia hypothesis, the foundation of design. Pioneers like social ecologist Stephen R. Keller proved that true biophilic design is a scientific method for human well-being. It's not just, slapping a potted plant in a dark corner. It relies on three main categories. First, we have direct experiences, which are literal interactions with nature. Think dynamic sunlight or flowing water. Then there are indirect experiences, using natural materials like raw wood or biomorphic shapes that mimic leaves. And finally, the experience of space and place. This is specifically the psychological concept of prospect and refuge, which is all about designing spaces that balance a wide open view with a comforting feeling of safety. What's absolutely fascinating is the number 14. Designers aren't just guessing here. They draw from a rich palette of 14 distinct, evidence-based patterns of biophilic design. These are really specific strategies, like creating a visual connection to natural systems, or using dynamic, diffuse light that mimics the sun filtering through a tree canopy. And they use these to deeply resonate with our human biology. Section 2. Buildings as living ecosystems, the physical track. So how does this actually play out in the real world? Well, for a long time, the approach was purely cosmetic. A company would install a superficial green wall in the lobby and call it a day. But we are moving rapidly towards systemic integration. Buildings are no longer just static containers for people. They're being designed as holistic, regenerative living ecosystems. They can manage water like a natural watershed and actually give back to their environments. And this brilliantly illustrates the shift. Think about a hospital. Usually the last place you'd expect to find a vibrant jungle, right? But the Khoo Teck Puat Hospital in Singapore flips that script, using nature as a core medical tool. They maximize natural ventilation and feature cascading greenery that's visible from nearly every patient's bed. It's so holistically designed that the hospital grounds now support over 100 species of butterflies and 85 species of birds. It is a genuine healing ecosystem right in the middle of a clinical environment. But remember, nature isn't static, it's always changing. So advanced biophilic buildings now feature dynamic, adaptive environments. Think about circadian lighting systems that adjust their color and intensity throughout the day to match the sun. That heavily improves our sleep, mood, and productivity. Or sensor-driven airflow that mimics a gentle, variable outdoor breeze. The Amazon spheres in Seattle are a prime example of this. They function as a responsive miniature rainforest for employees. Section 3. Designing natural digital spaces. The digital track. Now, this exact same biological philosophy is revolutionizing our screens, which is totally unexpected. Traditional user interfaces have almost always been cold, rigid, and strictly focused on minimal efficiency, which honestly can be quite stressful to use. Enter biophilic UX and UI. Designers are now significantly reducing our cognitive load by using complex fractal patterns, organic color palettes drawn from forests and oceans, and motion design that obeys natural world physics, like gravity and momentum. We call this a natural user interface. A fantastic example of this is the search engine Ecosia. By directly connecting the digital act of searching the web with the physical, real-world act of planting a tree, they create this emotionally positive, biological connection right through the glass of your phone. It's a real game changer. Section 4. When code builds nature, the synthesis. So the crucial point is that this is the convergence point where digital tools are actively used to construct natural spaces. AI is literally mimicking biological evolution. Using generative design tools like the ones from Autodesk, a designer inputs goals and constraints, and then the AI generates thousands of iterations. It evolves the design toward the most efficient solution possible. This is biomimicry in action. The resulting structural designs often look exactly like organic bones or plant structures because they are optimized using the very same mathematical rules found in nature. And we have an incredible array of other digital tools backing this up. Before a single brick is even laid, virtual reality lets clients emotionally feel the biophilic impact of a space. Simulation software using computational fluid dynamics perfects the invisible flow of the wind and optimizes natural sunlight. And digital fabrication, like 3D printing, allows us to effortlessly manufacture complex, mathematically perfect organic patterns right into our physical walls and structural beams. But you might be wondering, how do we know it actually works? Well, we use data. Through post-occupancy monitoring, IoT sensors constantly track air quality, CO2, and VOC levels, while wearable tech tracks human stress and heart rate variability. And the hard data consistently proves it. When biophilic design is implemented, toxins drop, while human focus and well-being absolutely soar. It takes this whole concept from a nice philosophy to a validated, evidence-based practice. Section 5. The Future Digital Refuge, Tomorrow's Tapestry. So, where's all this heading? Looking at the horizon, we are moving toward AI-powered ecosystems. Just imagine a building where an AI acts as a living partner, actively monitoring your biological well-being and seamlessly adjusting the light and air to keep you healthy. We are also seeing the dawn of haptic and olfactory tech in digital spaces, meaning, no joke, you might soon be able to literally feel the green of a wooden table through your screen, or smell the scent of pine or fresh rain during a virtual meeting. Now, of course, as this grows, we definitely have to remain vigilant to overcome greenwashing and ensure these systems are genuinely sustainable. This all culminates in a vital new concept, the digital refuge. As our tech usage demands more and more of us, we're going to seek carefully curated virtual reality experiences, apps, and websites designed entirely for psychological rest. They won't be about endless productivity or infinite scrolling. They'll be digital sanctuaries, designed using those principles of prospect and refuge we talked about earlier to give our minds a dedicated place to recover from digital overstimulation. Let's move to how this builds the big picture. Ultimately, technology and nature are no longer opposing forces. We're actually using the incredible power of digital innovation to restore our innate connection to the natural world. It is all about reweaving the human, natural, and technological worlds into a single cohesive tapestry that deeply honors our biology. Which leaves us with a critical thought to end on. Take a moment right now. Look around your physical room and think about the digital screens you interact with every single day. Are they feeding your human nature, or are they draining it? The tools to change our environments are already here. It's time we start building spaces that bring us back to life. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring.